Hey everyone, Nina here from nb&ns. Happy Thursday. Today is the day that we are planning an entire month of content in less than an hour. Every month we do these monthly content brainstorms where we plan an entire month of content for the upcoming month. And this month we're doing it a little bit later than we normally do, but we plan the entire month in less than an hour. So hopefully you have downloaded our content workbook that goes along with this session. If you have not, I did include a link to it in the description of this post, so make sure you grab that download. It is meant to complement this session. It has a ton of great ideas in it, so make sure that you get it. So today we're going to be talking about content that converts your followers into customers and how you can be more consistent with engaging content. So I want to welcome you all who are here. If you are here live or on the replay, I still want you to go ahead and say hello in the comments. Tell me what kind of business you run, because I want to make sure that you get everything out of this live that you can. So if I can cater some of the ideas that we talk about to your specific business, I would love to do that. So make sure you put it in the comments below what kind of company you run, so I can help you out. Also, I love these to be collaborative. And so as we go through this, if you are coming up with ideas, I would love for you to share those ideas in the comments, because there may be somebody else here that would benefit it, because I want to help everyone in the community here. So please make sure to share the ideas that you come up with as we go through this. Now, I also, before we get started, wanted to mention that today I decided to give you a little bit of a behind the scenes view of how I plan and get ready for these Facebook Lives, and then afterwards, what I do afterwards that helps us build our audience and build our business on Facebook. So if you are not following us on Instagram, hop on over and follow us over there and check out our Insta story today, because I give you a behind the scenes view of how I do these Facebook Lives. So I would love to see you over on Instagram after we're done here, of course, so you can check out our process, and then feel free to ask any questions that you have. So before I jump into the January content planning, I did want to talk a little bit about just some content best practices for you to think about as we are coming up with ideas. And I think it will be helpful in kind of framing how you should use today's content to make sure that you're converting those followers to customers. So the first thing that I want you to know is that content is queen, you guys. It is so important to create consistent content that's authentic and engaging for your audience in order to connect with them online. So you need to create content that informs, educates, and entertains. Those are the three areas that most of your content should fall under as you are thinking about creating your content every week, because content is how you build your relationship with your customers. You earn their trust, and then you ultimately earn their business. So you need to post consistent, valuable, and engaging content to build your brand, your personal brand, or the brand of your business online. And I love seeing all of the comments. Thank you for telling me your businesses. I see a big variety of businesses here, which is awesome. I also want you to remember that your content really needs to follow the 80-20 rule, meaning 80% of your content needs to be helpful, engaging, and valuable, and only 20% should be promotional. And the reason that you want to do that is when you are helpful and you are inspiring, people want to follow and learn from you, and then they are open to hearing those promotional messages from you. If you're promotional all the time, then they're going to stop listening. They're not going to want to buy from you, because they're like, they just want to sell me. They don't care about me as a customer. So follow that 80-20% rule. And that's why we're going to brainstorm some great content today. So it will be that 80% of that entertaining, engaging, inspiring, and educational content. Now, something else I want you to think about as we go through today's ideas is, who is your ideal client? You really need to create all of your content around who your ideal client for your business is. So you need to understand, what are her challenges? What are her struggles? How does your product or service benefit her and make her life better? So think about that as we come up with these ideas. You also want to think about, what are the things that she's facing right now during this time of year in January? What mindset is she in? For a lot of business owners, for me, I target other business owners, so I know that you all are in planning mode. You are laying out your goals for the year. You're wanting to be more productive, or maybe think about, a lot of people are thinking about their health and working out and wellness. They are reorganizing their homes, redecorating their homes, things like that. So think about the mindset that people are in right now in January as you are creating your content, and how your product or business can address those needs or struggles. And then the last thing I want you to do is, I want you to make sure that you are writing everything down today, that you organize it, and that you take action when I hit stop. So I don't want you to write down a bunch of ideas and not do anything with them. Please take action. Set aside half an hour after this live is over and organize your thoughts and content ideas and act on them, because I want you to get value out of this, and I want you to see a difference in your online marketing. So that's what I wanted to talk about with the marketing. Let's go ahead and jump right into the January content ideas. If you are following along in the workbook, I'm going to start in the month ideas. If you don't have the workbook, make sure that you download it. The link to it is in the description of this live. So the first one is National Menudo Month. And who here knows what Menudo is? Let me know. So I grew up in Arizona. I grew up eating Menudo. And my husband is from the Northwest, and every Christmas we make a big batch of Menudo in my family. And my husband will not touch it. He thinks it's weird. He won't eat it. We've been together for over 10 years, and to this day, he will not try it. He will not eat it. And so you may be like, why is she going on and on about Menudo? And Menudo Month, I don't serve Menudo. It has nothing to do with my business. But just because I'm talking about it's National Menudo Month, I want you to get inspiration from these ideas. So you don't necessarily maybe have anything to do with Menudo, but think about maybe foods that you grew up eating that were normal to you and maybe are strange or different to others, because you may have people in your audience that can relate to you about that. Now, I don't want it to come totally out of left field. So if you sell something that has nothing to do with food, or maybe you don't talk about those type of things on your page, then it might be out of left field for you, and then you can sit this one out. But just use it as inspiration. So you could talk about, what's the weirdest thing you grew up eating that was normal to you that now your spouse or your kids think are weird. So it's a really great way to kind of relate and learn more about your audience. Okay, so the next one is National Bath Safety. And again, you may be like, these are really weird month themes, Nina. Well, I get all of these from nationaldaycalendar.com. I don't pull all of them into the workbook, nor do I talk about them all today. So if you want to check that out, you can check out nationaldaycalendar.com, and they have a ton of these weird holidays and stuff. So that's my resource, and you can go ahead and check that out for more ideas. But National Bath Safety, I was thinking about maybe if you are a realtor, you could talk about things to look for in making your bath more safe. Or maybe you work with people who have children, or they have elderly parents that live in their home. You can talk about things to make their bath more safe for them. You can talk about, facts that people may not know, or hacks that you do to make your bathroom more safe for your child or your parent, or just for you. I'm totally clumsy. I can't use certain bath products in the shower because I will slip and fall because I'm super clumsy. So maybe you sell a product that makes the bath slippery. So you can talk about, how, to use your product safely, or things like that. The next one is National Blood Donor Month. So if you are a blood donor, you could just share on your Instagram or an Instagram story a quick photo of you sharing blood or why you share blood, why it's important to you. If you own a brick and mortar business, you could host a blood drive at your place of business, and that would be a great way to connect with your community. Or you could offer a discount to people this month who show proof that they gave blood. So that's something else that you could do. The next one is National Braille Literacy Month. So do you have Braille in your workplace? Do you have somebody on your team that is in touch with the seeing impaired community? And can they talk about Braille? Do you sell Braille books? Do you sell a product? Something like that. So there are different things you can do there. National Hobby Month. So share a hobby or host a hobby month. Can you showcase your team? So do you have a team that's more than just you? And maybe share some of their interesting hobbies. Or you could even do an engagement post saying, guess what Nina's hobby is? Is it A, B, or C? Now, we talked last week about how Facebook is coming after engagement posts, so you want to make sure that it's relevant and it's not too spammy or something like that, because we need to fall within that. But I think something like this is okay. It's getting to know your customers. It's relevant. It's not engagement for the sake of engagement. So just keep that in mind. So you could ask people to guess the hobby, or maybe your business started out as a hobby and now it's become a business, and you could tell that story about how you turned your hobby into your business. The next one is National Hot Tea Month. And so it's really funny. So one of the questions that I ask before people join our private group, in addition to like promise not to spam in our group, I ask how people like their coffee. And I am a huge coffee drinker. I love my coffee. I don't understand how people function without it, but if you do, like, more power to you. But I was really surprised at the amount of tea drinkers in my group. So there are a lot of tea drinkers out there. So for National Hot Tea Month, you could come up with a fun post about how you drink tea, different types of tea that you drink. So maybe you drink a tea in the morning to help you be more productive, and maybe you drink tea in the evening to help you calm down after work and things like that. Maybe if you're a health-related business, you could talk about all of the different types of teas and how they either benefit or don't benefit you from a health perspective. Maybe you are a Pampered Chef representative, or you deal with food, or you create recipes. You could talk about how you can actually integrate tea into different recipes. You could talk about brewing methods. I really like British period dramas, and they do high tea. So you could give some fun facts about high tea, again, if it's relevant for your business. I was even thinking for a wedding photographer, you could create a vision board or some ideas for brides that are thinking about having a high tea wedding. So there are lots of stuff you can do with tea there. Who are my tea drinkers here? Or are you a coffee? Are you team coffee or tea? Tell me in the comments. So the next one is National Mentoring Month. And I really like this because I think it's important to find a mentor or to be a mentor. So you could just, use this as an internal thing, find a mentor or post about your mentor. You could offer to be a mentor or talk about, people on your team that you've mentored and things like that. So you can definitely, I see a lot of team coffee and both. So you can talk about mentoring. Maybe your business has a mentoring program, or maybe you even volunteer for Big Brothers, Big Sisters or something like that. And that's a mentoring program, and you can talk about that. So lots of things you can do there. So the next one I'm going to talk about is National Oatmeal Month. And again, in January, health and wellness is one of the most popular topics. So if you are in the health and wellness business, I know this is a busy month for you, so hopefully you're here and getting ideas. You could talk about the benefits of oatmeal. I'm really weird. I actually like to eat my oatmeal every morning in the summer, and then I switch to yogurt in the winter, which I feel like it should be opposite. I don't know why I do that. If your audience is busy moms, you could share an overnight or a quick oatmeal recipe. If they have kids, you could share some of the things that you do to get your kids to eat oatmeal. My daughter actually loves oatmeal, so I'm lucky there, probably because she's eaten it since she was a child or a baby. She still is a child. So lots of things you could talk about National Oatmeal Month. The same with the next one is Slow Cooking Month and Soup Month. You could talk about and share your slow cooker recipes, your soup recipes, healthy swaps. that you can make to be more healthy this season. So lots of stuff there. And then Sunday supper month. This could be a personality post. So do you do Sunday supper? We, in my family, we try to get together with my parents and my sister and her kids. They live here near us. And every Sunday we do try to get together and do a Sunday dinner. So it could just be something as simple as posting an Instagram photo of you and your family doing your Sunday supper. There is a hashtag. I believe it's Sunday supper month. So you can use that hashtag to get more coverage. You could do a little Instagram story about your Sunday supper and what it means to you and some of the dishes that you post. So it's more of a getting to know you post for Sunday supper month. So, all right. So those were the month topics. I'm going to move into the week topics, but let me know how you're doing. If you're getting ideas, and if you are getting ideas, I would love to see them in the comments. I know there's a wide variety of businesses here, so I'm trying to hit on all of them. I know health and wellness is a popular one, but I will try to get, I know I have some skincare and jewelry folks in here as well. So for the week, the first week is, I'm just going to scroll down so I can see this. The first one we have is Diet Resolution Health and Fitness Week. So you could create, if you're in the health and wellness industry, you could create content or a Facebook Live that talks about the different popular diets. I know my business partner, Neil, I know you guys don't see him a lot, but he does the keto diet and he's had really great success with it. You know, a lot of people do Whole30. So you could talk about those different diets and, you know, the pros, the cons, who they work well for and who they don't work well for. You could even host, I know a lot of the Beachbody coaches do a health challenge, so you could host a challenge this month. Or even if maybe you have a diet resolution, you can just share that with your followers if that's something that you're comfortable doing and share your progress. It's a getting to know you thing, and it helps people start to relate to you. So if you find that to be relevant, that's something that you could do as well. The next one is a celebration of life week, and you could share just your why. You know, why does your business help you celebrate life more? Or maybe I saw a really great post from someone who works with pregnant women, and she had a really inspirational story from one of her clients who had experienced loss, but then was having a child. And it was really a powerful story that she was able to share and celebrate the life of the child and celebrate her business that was able to help that mother get through some of the tough times and now the happy times. So you could talk about, you know, are there customers of yours or clients of yours that you have helped, and ask them to tell their story for you, whether it's writing you a testimonial or interviewing them on a Facebook Live or a video. You know, video is so important these days. So if you can get it by video, that would be great. But if you can just get a photo with a testimonial, that works great too. So think about all of the different ways that your business has either enriched the life of you and your family, or even of your clients and customers, and how you can tell that story. The next one, I really like this one. It's Someday We'll Laugh About This Week, because I say that all the time when stuff goes wrong. And I will tell you that as an entrepreneur, stuff goes wrong all the time. You guys see the polished version here that I put out. I'm trying to be more transparent, more vulnerable, and tell you about the trials and tribulations of being an entrepreneur. But I say that all the time because there is a lot of failure and a lot of trial and error when you are an entrepreneur. So share some of those. I think people really connect with you when you are able to say, hey, I'm not perfect and I have failed a lot. I have failed a lot to get to where I am, and I still fail every day. And so share some of those difficult situations, and then share, you know, what you've learned from it and how others can learn from your mistakes and missteps and the things that you laugh about now but weren't so funny when they were happening to you. And, you know, tell your audience about that. Or, you know, do you have a business that helps with fails or difficult situations. So I'm thinking, a plumbing company, or even I saw somebody here paints furniture. You could say, someday we'll laugh that this chair or table looked like this. It looked horrid, and I redid it, and now it's beautiful. And you would laugh at how horrible it looked before I got to it. So there are a lot of different things that you can do. Try to think outside of the box a little bit on how you can use that. The next one is National Pizza Week. So you could share your favorite pizza recipe, your favorite pizza swaps, how to make pizza healthier. Like, I really like the cauliflower crust pizza from Trader Joe's. It took a while to get my 4-year-old to eat it, but now she eats it. And it's a good way to get vegetables in her, and she likes it. So you could talk about, maybe your favorite local pizza joint, or, hacks like I just shared with getting my daughter to eat cauliflower. So different things like that. The next one is Universal Letter Writing Week. And you could send a thank you to one of your businesses. Like, how many of us actually get handwritten cards or letters these days? Like, that would be an amazing way to maybe stand out to one of your best customers, or maybe a customer or a client sent you a handwritten letter to say thank you, and you could take a photo of it and tell that story about how much that meant to you, that your client or customer wrote you, a handwritten note to tell you what it meant to them, how you helped them through your business. Or maybe even your child wrote you a handwritten note, about how they like watching their mommy work and how you were able to do something for them because of your work. I know for my daughter, since I left the advertising agency world where I was working insane hours and had to be in the office all of the time, I am now able to go to her parties and things. And she's not quite old enough to write me letters or anything like that, but I know she likes having mommy there, and it means a lot to her. And my business has been able to do that, so I like to tell that story. The next one is Home Office Safety and Security Week. So my husband used to be a photographer and videographer, and for something like this, we try to keep his equipment secure to make sure that if somebody breaks into our home, it's unfortunate, but it happens, how we keep that stuff secure, because it's an investment in both of our businesses. So if you're a photographer or videographer, you could share about how you keep your product safety. Even if you just keep product in your home, I know you probably don't want to give away details like on the internet, like, hey, here's where I hide my stuff. But you could tell your customers and clients, if it's relevant, things that they should be thinking about as business owners to keep their products safe in their home office. If you have a home office, realtors, this is a great topic for a realtor to talk about, or really anyone who works from home or has a business from home or has an audience of people who have businesses from home. So things to think about, keeping your home office safe, even for maybe, do you have a space for your kids in your home office, and how do you keep it safe for them? Like I have lights back over here for my Facebook Lives, and my daughter comes in and out of my office all of the time. And so we've taped down the cords to make sure that she doesn't trip over a cord and then, take all of everything down with her and get her hurt like that. So just little things that you could share behind the scenes of how you keep your home office safe. The next one, so I had to look this up because I had no idea what this was, and you guys tell me if you had any idea of what this was before I told you. So the next one is Cuckoo Dance Week. And like I said, I had to Google this. I have no idea what the cuckoo dance is. And apparently it's a Laurel and Hardy thing, which was way before my time. So I know who Laurel and Hardy are. I've obviously seen them. They're kind of integrated into pop culture and whatnot. But basically, it is you host a challenge of people dancing the cuckoo, which is a dance that Laurel and Hardy did. And so this got me thinking that, things that you could do. This went around, I'm trying to remember what dance it was. It went around a while ago, and people were doing like a dance, kind of like the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge, but it was a dance. So people would do the dance, post it on their Facebook page, and then challenge, their friends and family to do the dance as well. So maybe that's something that you can do. If you are totally fine with making a fool of yourself, which I am. I don't know if you guys saw the video that one of my friends and students, Kyle, did. He's a realtor. We did a carpool karaoke in his car, and so we're dancing and singing in the car, and it was a lot of fun, but whatever, I'll put myself out there. It's cool. So make sure you check that out. I'll post a link to it. But you could do the Cuckoo dance and challenge, another business like yours, or challenge your followers to do it. Maybe you'll do a little giveaway to the funniest or most creative one or something like that. So this could just be a little fun engagement type of thing that you could do within your community. The next one is Hunt for Happiness Week. And I think as a lot of people are... Andy says that one of her groups do Hooping Wednesdays where people post hula hooping videos. I love that. My daughter's just learning how to hula hoop. It's kind of cool to watch, and I'm not as good at it as I used to be. Okay, so the next one is Hunt for Happiness Week. And I think as people are into the new year and we're talking about being more productive and being more healthy and setting our goals and all of these things, I think a lot of people are also looking at ways that they can be happier in their life, in their business. And there's a lot of talk about this. So does your business help people find their happiness? You could share a quote that makes you happy, or share your story about how your business has made you happy. So again, sharing your story, sharing the stories of your customers and clients with your audience. The next one is Healthy Weight Week. Again, health and wellness business. I know you're busy this month, but you could even talk about if you're a business that helps women feel more comfortable. If you sell clothing and your clothing fits women of different sizes and shapes, you could talk about how to help people be happy with the weight that they are and to feel good in the way that they dress or the way that they look. You could tell a story or share a testimonial, again, telling the story of your customers and the story of your business. So the next one is Sugar Awareness Week. And I'm aware of sugar because I want it all the time. Like, who's with me on the sweets train? I hit like 3 o'clock and I'm like, where is the cupcake? And back in the day, I used to be like, oh, I wish somebody would come up with a cupcake delivery service. And now there are, and that's kind of scary. I can get a cupcake whenever I want. So anyway, you could talk about how you kicked the sugar habit. You can give tips on how to do that. Health coaches. I'm even thinking my oily ladies. Are there ways that you can help people kick their sweet tooth habit? You could talk. I know I have some Scentsy reps and some candle reps and some scent type of companies that show up here. You could talk about how to curb your sweet cravings with just burning a candle or creating an oil recipe that smells like something sweet, so you can at least smell it and not eat it. So different things like that. Or maybe you own a cupcake delivery business and you want to deliver cupcakes to me, or you deliver cupcakes to people, or you make beautiful, delicious sweet treats. You could, promote that for those of us who can't control our sweet tooth. The next one is Clean Out Your Inbox Week. And you guys, I will never show anyone my inbox because it's embarrassing. But as we're talking about, productivity and getting a fresh start for the year, you could talk about how you hit inbox 0, which I don't think I will ever be able to hit. I can't. I like keeping stuff. But how you hit inbox 0, and maybe share some of your favorite tools. I know that there are tools out there like Unroll Me that can, I know I'm totally an inbox hoarder too, Renee. Share your favorite tools and some of the strategies that you've been able to do to organize your email more effectively, so you don't have thousands of unread emails. I don't know who has that. Moving on. So next one is Handwriting Analysis Week. I feel like handwriting, so they don't teach handwriting in school anymore, I heard. My daughter, or like cursive, they teach writing. So I don't know if my daughter will ever learn, well, I'll probably teach her how to write cursive. But you could show your handwriting just as like a fun, engagement post and say, show me your handwriting. What does your handwriting look like? You could, graphic designers, you could talk about your favorite fonts that look like handwriting, or your favorite script fonts, because I have a hard time finding a script font that I like. We still haven't landed on one. So you could give advice what some of your favorite handwritten looking like fonts that look like handwriting. You could share those. And then the last one for the weeks are Tax Identity Theft Week. Now this is a perfect topic for my financial advisors and my bookkeepers out there, and you can talk about, if you have an audience of business owners, things that they need to do to make sure that their identity is not stolen. During tax season, I know doing your taxes earlier can help with that, because a lot of these thieves will file a claim so they get the refund before you even have a chance to file your claim. So some of the things to look out for there. I was even thinking that you can have guests on to share content that is helpful to your audience. So something that I'm doing in the new year is I am actually going to have guests on our Facebook Lives that have different areas of expertise that appeal to my audience, which is you. So if you have a topic you want me to cover, let me know. It's something that I don't cover. So I'm going to have, people on to talk about getting organized and being more productive with kids at home. I'm going to have people on to talk about, how to take better photos for your business. I'm going to have people come on to talk about how to be a better designer if you can't hire one. So all of these things that kind of go with, the area of being a female business owner, but I don't teach because I just focus on marketing. So all of these other things, I'm going to have guests come on and talk about those. So if you have some things that you want to know, let me know in the comments, and I will find somebody to come and talk about that. But like I said, if you have an audience that are business owners or just, doing their taxes, then you can have somebody come on and talk about that. So, all right, moving on to our days. Let me know how you guys are doing. Are you getting ideas? Tell me some ideas that you came up with, because I want this to be collaborative. If you have questions for me, please let me know and I will definitely answer them. All right, let's go on to the days. We're in the home stretch, you guys. All right, so the days, I'm going to start a little bit later because we normally do these lives the last week of the month before we're talking about. I did this a little bit later because, with the holidays and everything, I didn't think anyone would actually come on December 28th. So that's why I'm doing it today. So I'm going to start at January 6th, which is National Technology Day. So you could share a tech tip. You could share your favorite tech that has helped your business and ask your followers theirs. You could have a tech expert come on and talk about some of their favorite tech that might help your audience if it's relevant to you. January 8th is National Winter Skin Relief. So I know I have some of my skincare ladies here. Raise your hand. So this is the perfect opportunity for you to talk about, how people can care for their winter skin. I actually am in a working moms group, and people were posting like their normal moisturizer is just not enough this time of year, and they were asking like for heavy moisturizer recommendations. So you could create a series about things that you can do to take care of your skin with your products and just in general. January 8th is National Clean Off Your Desk Day. So you could participate in that day and then take a picture of your desk before and after and ask your followers to do the same. Or maybe you help people with organization and you could give some tips on how to have a more efficient desk to keep it from getting incredibly messy. So you could talk about things like that. Oh, Carrie, that's a great idea. So she said that her hair and nails and lips are super dry too. So those of you that sell products in those areas, you could talk about, how to take care of your hair, lips, and nails in the winter as well, because my hands are dry right now. You saw me playing with my chapstick, so it's that time of year. January 10th is Cut Your Energy Costs. So realtors, this could be a great topic for you of things to look for when you're buying a home that will make that home more energy efficient, or just things that your followers can do to make their homes more energy efficient, because as a realtor, we only use a realtor a few times in our lives, and so you need to be top of mind for when people are ready to use one. So if they view you as the home expert when they are ready to buy or sell a home, they will come to you. So just keep that in mind. Do any of your products help cut energy? So you could talk about those different things. For January 13th is National Sticker Day. So I'm thinking of my book ladies. You could talk about your sticker books. You could talk about how they help kids, with fine motor skills and things like that. Or if you just have an audience of people who are moms, you could ask where the weirdest place they've found a sticker. is, and ask them to share a photo if they have it. I have found stickers in weird places because my daughter puts them everywhere. We have one on the floor out there that it's really cute, and I just can't, it's not gonna ruin the floor, so I just kind of leave it there. I've found them like on inside of my clothes. I actually found one in my hair one night. So you could ask people the weirdest place that they have found a sticker. The next one is January 16th is National Nothing Day. And again, I feel like, you know, the happiness thing, the productivity thing, I think doing nothing is something else that has become more popular, that people no one does nothing anymore. You always have to be doing something. I have a hard time doing nothing. So you could talk about meditation, you could talk about doing nothing, or maybe a tradition you have with your family that you know, is more about doing nothing. Because they say when kids are bored, they should be bored, and you should let your kids be bored. So talk about how you battle that kids being bored while you're trying to get work done, and how you teach them to do nothing, and it's okay sometimes. January 18th is Get to Know Your Customers Day. I think this is a really fun thing that you could do. You could create some customer profiles with an image and a little bit of a story or a testimonial about how they benefited from your product, and then ask for your followers to tell their story, or to take a photo of themselves with your product, or just ask them something about themselves. Say, hey, I want to know, you know, more about my customers. Tell me this, and ask them a question. January 24th is National Compliment Day. You know, you could publicly compliment someone and tag them in a post about somebody that has helped you in your business, or has helped you personally, or somebody that you look up to, or a brand that you admire. For instance, I have a brand crush on UNICEF, which is the children's nonprofit that helps children around the world. And they're my brand crush. Like, I love some of the marketing campaigns that they do. I think they're really creative. So you could publicly come out and just compliment somebody in the work that they do, you know, spread the good juju. January 28th is Data Privacy Day. And there's a lot of things I was thinking that you could do with this. So if you handle data in your business, you know, a lot of us are really sensitive to the fact that like Target and all these other big brands have had breaches of data. And so you could talk about how you keep your customers' data secure, you know, how people can be safe when they're dealing with businesses like yours, you know, and either paying for things or giving their credit card numbers over, some tips to keep their data safe. Realtors can talk about how to keep your data safe when you're buying a home, because you give out a lot of personal information when you are buying a home. You can talk about if you hire virtual assistants or vendors to do things for you, and they need to log in to some of your accounts. You know, how do you keep that data safe when you hire someone to do something and they need to access, you know, sensitive materials in your business? And what are the things that you need to do to protect that? So if you're an attorney, you could talk about having people sign an NDA. You know, I might on that day talk about how there are different tools that you can use to log into your social accounts, and things that you can do to make sure you don't get locked out of your social accounts and that people don't get your password. So think about if you deal with data, or if your audience deals with data, you know, what are some things that you can help them keep their data safe on that day. January 28th is National Have Fun at Work. And I mean, we're all having fun at work, right? If we're business owners and entrepreneurs, we're having fun. Yeah. So you could, you know, share some behind the scenes photos of videos of you and your staff having fun, or different ways that you have fun. You know, like I said earlier, my friend Kyle, who's a realtor, and I did the carpool karaoke with him, he has little like cute outtake videos that he makes from when we like mess up or something that he shares. So it's some behind the scenes of him having fun at work. So can you share some content like that? January 30th is Plan a Vacation Day. So if you're a travel agent or you deal in travel, you could share some content about, you know, how you plan your vacations. If you sell books or things like that, are there, like Carrie, I know you sell Usborne, so you could talk about, you know, books and activities that you can pack for your kids to keep them busy as you go on vacation. So lots of tips you could give there. So that is the last of the days. So I'm going to move on to the last section of this brainstorm. I'm going to take a drink for a second. And we're going to move on to the theme. So, ooh, Carrie, I like that. That's a good idea. All right. So my January thought starters. So these are things I want you to think about what your customers are thinking of this time of year. You know, what are they focused on? How can you help them? How does your business fit into that? And how can you be relevant and add value to your customers' lives this time of year? So there's a lot of talk about resolutions and goals and productivity. So you can share your resolutions and goals and things that you do to stay productive in your business. If you, like I said earlier, if you are in the health and wellness arena, this is your month. Be a resource to your audience. Don't be that person out selling, but be a resource. And as you know, as a health professional, you know, it's not just 1 month of being healthy, it's several months of being healthy. So think about how you can be a resource now and create that relationship, and how you can help people as we all start falling down on our resolutions after a few months go by. So you maybe want to have a long-term plan in place on how you can optimize the interest in health and wellness now for later. You know, you can share it's cold and people are cold. I know a lot of you are stuck inside because of the blizzard in the East Coast, in the southern states. Like if you're in the blizzard, I'm sorry, I hope you're staying warm. I won't tell you how warm it is here in Arizona. I can't do cold weather. But you could share winter recipes and how you're staying warm, or activities for kids when you were stuck inside. I know a lot of moms had to stay home from their job today and are working from home. So what are the things that you can do to keep your kids busy on snow days like this and still get some work done while you're stuck inside? You know, a lot of people are going to get their credit card bills from Christmas. So people are going to start looking for ways to budget and save and pay off those credit card bills. You know, some ways that they can earn some extra money on the side. Carrie, that sounds like a good idea. I think baking cookies is a perfect idea when you're stuck inside. It makes the house smell good. Perfect. So remember, people are getting those credit card bills. So can you help people with budgeting, managing their money better? Or are they looking for ways to earn extra money? So how can you help them with that? If you have an opportunity within your business, you could talk about how you can help them earn extra money to pay off those Christmas bills. People are talking about getting organized. They're stuck inside, so they want their home to be organized and clean. So does your business help with that? What tips can you share with that? We talked about, if you're on our email list, okay, I'm going to say this wrong, so somebody tell me how to say it. But hygge, so it's the Danish word of just being like comfortable and having well-being. We have some really beautiful hygge, I'm not saying it right, themed photos in our January content package. So if you didn't get that, make sure you download it. We have some really beautiful stock photos that you can use for free for your January content. So, you know, people talk about the hygge a little bit. So you could use those photos and talk about things that you do to make your home cozy, or maybe you sell items that make your homes cozy. You know, I've seen some of those really beautifully knit socks and beautifully knit blankets and things like that. So you could talk about that and show some beautiful pictures. You know, snow activities. Are there any fun? I don't know anything about snow, but are there fun snow activities that you can share? I know I've seen some of my Pampered Chef gals will share like the snow ice cream recipe. So you could share, you know, things like that. I've seen some fun stuff with snow. Like I talked about earlier, vacation planning. A lot of people are trying to escape their cold weather destinations and heading to warm destinations. Although I heard Florida has like 40-degree weather today, which is insane. But you know, people are planning vacations to kind of, they have the winter doldrums and they're trying to get out of it. I know I used to work in tourism here in Arizona. January was a huge month for us, for people from Canada in the Northeast trying to escape that cold weather because we have beautiful warm weather here. A lot of people got engaged over the holidays. And so if you have a business you're a wedding photographer, you are an Etsy crafter, or anything that has to do with weddings, this is a great time to start talking to those brides who are planning their weddings, who got engaged over the holidays. So keep that in mind. And speaking of weddings, unfortunately, January, I believe, is the highest month of divorce rate. So if you are an attorney or a mediator or in that field, you could talk about, or even a financial planner, you could talk about the things that people unfortunately need to think about if they are in that situation. It's also cold and flu season. My daughter and I went ahead and got that over with over Christmas. We were sick. So if you have a product or you have tips about staying healthy or treating the cold and flu or keeping from getting the cold and flu, you can talk about that this month. That type of content is going to be appealing to your audience. So, that is everything I had for January. Stick around here. I'm going to talk about a couple things, but I have a couple more things to talk about. But if you have questions or comments, please put them. I'm going to stick around here and answer questions for you guys about content and Facebook or marketing or whatever you want. If you want to know how I prep for these Facebook Lives, I mentioned it at the beginning that I actually recorded a behind the scenes Facebook or Instagram stories showing kind of how I prepare and set up for Facebook Live. So if you want some behind the scenes stuff, go ahead and click on the link to Instagram. You can only see the stories on a mobile device, so you can't see it on your computer, but check out our stories. I'm also gonna hop on there and talk about what I do after my Facebook Lives that help me get the most out of my Facebook Live, because I invest a lot of time in doing this and I wanna make sure that I get all of the reach that I can out of it. So I have an entire post Facebook Live process that I follow. I'm gonna share that with you on our Instagram stories, so check that out later this afternoon. And then before we wrap up, I want to just give you a few tips as you collect all of the ideas. I hope you came up with a ton of ideas and what you need to do with them to take action today. Like I said, take action today. You know, don't let these ideas sit around the rest of the month and then you get to the middle of the month and you haven't used any of them yet. So these are the things I want you to do to take action. So think of the different ways that you can present these ideas that you came up with so you get the most out of them. So can you create a Facebook Live or a video instead of just writing a post? Or if you write a post, can you break it up into different pieces in a graphic? So if you write a post and there's like 3 or 4 tips in it, you could also create a photo or a graphic to kind of get more legs out of that content that you created. You know, can you create an Instagram story? Can you create an Instagram post? Just make sure that you are getting the most out of the content that you are creating. And these days, to be completely honest with you, it's all about movement and video. So instead of just thinking merely on the image or a graphic or just a straight post with words, I want you to think about, is there a way that you can create movement with this? So can you create a short video? Can you create or use a GIF to create some movement with that? You could even use Boomerang, which is from Instagram, and it's a little looped video. We have had great success running ads with boomerangs instead of using an image. They perform really well. So think about how you can create movement. I know a lot of people use the app Ripple. It's RIPL. And then they also, Amanda, I see your question. I'll answer in just a second. So on Canva, you can actually create animations as well. So Amanda is asking a question. If you sell a product like jewelry that is wanted but not a service, what do you suggest? Still post things about each topic even though it has nothing to do with my product. So Amanda, if you sell a product, which I know I have a mix of product and service businesses here. So if you sell a product, you know, I still want you to look through the topics that we talked about, you know, and not all of them are going to be for you. So for instance, I'm thinking for the engagement and weddings, you could talk about different looks and different occasions that people are going to be attending when they're engaged. So there's bridal showers and bachelorette parties, and then the wedding itself, and then jewelry for their family and friends and their bridesmaids. So you could talk about this that month. What I really want you to do is understand who your ideal client is and what are the things they're thinking about this month. So organizing, Amanda, you could talk about organizing their jewelry, because a lot of us are thinking about organizing things. You know, what's in this season and what's out this season? What are some of the fashion things in the spring that are going to be in style? You know, February is coming soon, so it's going to be Valentine's Day. So if you sell jewelry, it's a good time to start thinking about your Valentine's promotion. So Amanda, think about your ideal client. Think about, you know, like I said, not all of these topics are going to work for you, but go through them and kind of see if you can use any of them. You know, if it doesn't feel comfortable or it doesn't feel relevant, don't force it. You know, you don't want to use everything that's in here. So just something to think about. Oh, for the safety one, you could talk about how to keep your jewelry safe. Like we had a break-in years ago and somebody stole all my jewelry and it sucked. But you could talk about storing your jewelry and stuff like that. So lots of ideas that you can come up with. You just want to know your ideal customer and what's relevant to them and your brand. All right. The next thing I want to talk about is if you are on more than one platform. So we're getting back to how to use all of these content ideas that you've come up with. So if you're on more than one platform, you know, how can you alter your content to fit on each? So for example, I do a blog post every week, and then I do this Facebook Live for it. I create little mini video snippets for Instagram. Today, sorry, it cut out there a little bit, but I'm back. You know, I'll talk about some of the smaller points with an image. So make sure that you're repurposing your video across all of the channels that you're on. For Pinterest, I create an image for the blog post to put over there. And then like if there's 5 points, I'll create 5 pins for each of the points that I make to post on Pinterest as well to get more legs out of that. So make sure you're thinking of all the different ways that you can repurpose kind of your core piece of content that you're creating. Like for me, it's my blog post and our Facebook Lives and all of the little offshoot content that you can create off of that. The next one I want you to think about is, are you asking for action? Now, Facebook doesn't like when you directly ask for action on posts anymore. So they don't like when you say, click like to do this or comment to do this. But, you know, there are ways that you can still engage people and kind of allude to that's what you want them to do. You want them to take an action. You want them to comment. You want them to like. You want them to watch a video. You want them to RSVP for your event or whatever it is. Make sure that you're asking for action in your post. So you are continuing the conversation with your customers, whether it's getting them to sign up for your email list, following you on Instagram in addition to Facebook, or whatever it is. Make sure that your message is clear and easy to understand. I am totally guilty of this. I have done marketing for 15 years, and so I know it so well that sometimes when I start talking to people, I am on step 50 and they're on step 1. And I really have to walk it back and remember that my audience is not as far down the road as I am. So make sure that your message is clear and easy to understand for your audience who doesn't have all of the knowledge that you already have about your product or business. You don't want to ask too much from your audience. So a lot of people will say, hey, I have a great idea for this promotion and I want them to, you know, create this elaborate video. And I'm like, whoa. If, you know, you need to not ask much of your clients. Like, think about what we are on social media doing. We have these little micro moments. We're willing to maybe like something or comment on something or share a photo. But if I have to, you know, remember to go do something and then come back to comment on something, I'm not going to remember to do that. So make sure that you're keeping things really easy for your audience to interact and engage with you. Don't make them take too many steps. And then, you know, last but not least, make sure your stuff works. I can't tell you how many times, and I am guilty of this too, that I have posted a link that didn't work. So test your stuff. Make sure your video plays, make sure your link works and goes to where it should be going. So just make sure that your stuff is working. So that is everything for today. Thank you so much to everyone who showed up today. If you found this helpful, I would love it if you shared this with your team or somebody else who you think would benefit. If you give us a like, give us a heart, let me know what you thought. If you are watching this on the replay and you have questions, I do come back and check the comments. So I will come back, I will answer questions. So if you have questions, put them in the comments and I will come back and answer them. Also, so you know, I do this content brainstorm every single month. So February's content brainstorm is on January 25th. The event is up on our page, so please go RSVP for that before you forget. Next week, we are also doing a free training. I do free trainings right here on a bunch of marketing topics every Thursday at noon. So you can go and RSVP for some of our other trainings underneath our events tab. Next week, I'm going to be talking about word of mouth marketing. This idea was stemmed when I was in a mom's group and 200 people, 200 you guys, bought this hair dryer because one gal recommended it. Like, that's huge. The company didn't have to spend any money, or maybe they spent their money on getting that one gal to buy the product, and because of her recommendation, 200 people bought this hair dryer. And so I'm going to talk about some of the things that you can do to harness the power of word of mouth marketing, because it's one of the most efficient and affordable ways to market your business. So make sure you RSVP for that live next week. Make sure you get the content workbook download. There, like I said, there are 11 beautiful stock photos that we created with Taylor K Photography. They're free for you to use for your content. So make sure you download that. And then head on over to Instagram and check out my behind the scenes Instagram story all about how I prepare for my Facebook Lives and then what I do afterwards to make sure to grow our business and our audience. So again, thank you to everyone who is here today. Give us a like, give us a heart. Let me know what you thought of this Facebook Live and how we can make it better. And I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your week. Those of you in the Northeast and the South and all of that cold weather, stay warm. I will send you warm sunshine thoughts. So have a wonderful week and I will see you guys next Thursday.